Seanad McCarthy.
Éireann, and thank you, Minister, for being here. I know last year when we were in this House and the big debacle about Fastway and the protests outside, my heart went out to the employees who were caught in the middle of all that. And even running a business myself, I was thinking, is there any insurance that is mandatory or something like that that you can put on the employer so that an employee can never be caught in that situation again? I know the Supreme Court found in 2018 that Article 21b of the EU Directive 987 was not properly transposed into Irish law. That created a situation whereby employees of employers who ceased trading without formally winding up could not access the SIF, the Social Insurance Fund, to obtain reimbursement. The bill, I know it's well intended, and it's to allow eligible employees a limited time to recover pay-related entitlements over the previous 40 years. The claims process will cover various employee entitlements, including arrears of wages and sick pay, capped at 8 weeks, outstanding holiday, capped at 8 weeks, unpaid statutory minimum notice, certain arrears of pension contributions, and then various statutory awards made by the WRC and the Labour Court. And I think this is definitely going in the right direction, most welcome. But there are some issues I just want to highlight, and that's that the current statutory ceiling is classified as €600 per week, and that'll be recoverable by an employee. That seems a little bit outdated, and the bill, if enacted, it'll provide welcome additional protections to employees, but while there's no additional debt burden on employees who are subject to employee applications, some degree of resources will be required to engage with this application. Then the Minister, according to the bill, may deem an employer insolvent if there is no evidence of continued training, and like the flower shop, and they are satisfied that amounts are due to the employee. Employees should not be required to provide supporting documentation evidence for this test. This was determined by the working group and the recommendations that were given. But I think we can find some ways to stream that. So the working group also said that where an employer is a sole trader, that's the test 2, the verifying of the employer trading status, that they should be appropriately modified so that it is not a requirement for a sole trader to have fully ceased trading. However, the word sole trader does not come up once in the bill, and this was brought up by the working group. So I have to ask, will sole traders be required to cease trading under this? It's much harder for any entrepreneur in Ireland to come back from a business failure compared to the United States, where you can start off again at 85 years of age, and I fear that that's going to compound the situation. So some sole traders also trade as part of private limited companies because they have liabilities. So I hope this is something that can be addressed at report stage. The final issue that was brought up by the working group, they've suggested the establishment of an appeal mechanism, Article 21b of the process, which is a good suggestion. So in conclusion, Minister Éireann, I recommend the bill, and I certainly back it, commend the bill, and it's an introduction. I think the findings of the 2023 working group should be taken into account. Thank you, Minister.